Hello there and welcome back to Japan, where today I'm going to be checking out Elevator Girl by BABYMETAL, which is their brand new song. And obviously this is quite interesting because I've been listening to a lot of BABYMETAL and kind of discovering the group with you guys. And it's been really interesting to hear how they were quite different from the stereotypical image that they maybe gave, that I first saw when they first became famous. Now hearing them with more of their career developed, you guys have guided me through some really interesting songs of theirs, hearing them do different styles of rock and metal, everything back to Sakura Gakuin, which obviously was a totally different thing. But as a result, with you guys, the fans being fantastic in the comments, I've kind of got to know the group quite well. So I'm excited now, finally, rather than being guided to a song, we get to share this together. This only came out a few days ago, so I'm going to be really interested to see what you guys, the fans, and anyone else who's just a person on this channel who enjoys, getting involved in these discussions, seeing what you guys think of this new song. It's called Elevator Girl. Let's cue this one up and see what it's like. No video, just the song, but it's given away free, which is wonderful. And go. Kind of pop. Very hard. It's in English, this one, isn't it? I really like that hook. It's got a mixture of pop and metal, which I know is their thing, but you can do that many different ways and that really works. We'll go over that more later. Yeah, that's a really good hook. Really good hook. I'm glad they're milking it. Nice little shift with the chords there. Oh, is that it? It's over. Wow. Okay, now that's, I had a lot of things that I was expecting when that came out. I mean, my worry with BABYMETAL is always because the fact that, it sounds like such a weird thing to say, but because they're a metal group, there's certain things about metal that I don't particularly like sometimes. Some things about the genre I love, some things that I have trouble with. And my biggest problem is that a lot of metal, as is the case with a lot of genres, but metal seemingly more than most, there seems to be this thing about sticking into a certain place of what is metal. And often metal fans can be very pushy and actually push their favourite artists a lot by saying, well, that's not metal, that's not metal. And so I think a lot of the time artists in the genre have more worry, more concern about experimenting. Now, BABYMETAL obviously have always been had a little bit of a privileged position in that they can do that more, and so it is nice when they are using it. And so when I hear songs that are more straight metal by BABYMETAL, I'll be honest, I feel a little bit more disappointed, just because, even though there's nothing wrong with that, just because I know they can do stuff which is more experimental. Now, the experimental side of this song is mostly down to the fact that the production is very heavy, which again, heavy production, often we're told that's not very metal. It's got to sound live and it's got to sound raw. Now, the good thing about the production of this was a lot of compression. It was very sort of heavily, thickly, almost poppily produced. But, for example, the guitars had that really raw sound, sort of very like growling sound behind them, and it was fantastic. But it wasn't. If you know technically how they do the mixing of the guitar was quite thin, so it didn't interrupt with everything else. It wasn't like the guitar was overpowering the rest of the music, so it just sounded like a grungy dirge. The guitar was powerful and growling, but in its own little space, so you had room for the drums to sound dynamic. The drums moved quickly. There was not a second to get bored in that, which is interesting as well, because the way that the song was done lyrically, and I know they're not an English-speaking group. Incidentally, this is now the 2-member BABYMETAL, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. But the thing which makes that really interesting is that the whole dynamic of that melodically was very simple. Like, kind of the verse was just the same thing repeated, which kind of took on almost like a club sort of vibe, like something you do in EDM. You just get a really catchy refrain and you put it in the verse, so the verse is as much a refrain as the chorus. In fact, the chorus had a lot more development in it than the verse did. The verse was just very kinetic and it really built up the energy, but everything just felt like a build up for that fantastic hook. Now, I love the hook, and I love that they really milked it. There was no bridge or anything in this. It was just like intro, verse, verse, milked chorus. And it really worked for me because, like I say, the melody and the chords, the way they went against each other, just, it sounds unique. It's one of those choruses that's stuck in my head right now, and I know that's going to be stuck in my head for a while because it doesn't sound like anything else. It's really difficult to write a catchy hook that actually sounds quite unique, and that one does. I think that's fantastic. I think it's a really good hook. I wish I could understand better what she was saying, because I think that was all in English, so someone posts the lyrics. I know there's at least one commenter who sometimes gives me all the lyrics to these songs. You know who you are. But yeah, that's a fantastic hook as well. And the way that they milked it through at the end, extended it, had a little change of the chord pattern underneath, changed the rhythm slightly. Just everything about that appeals to me. That's the kind of metal song I like hearing. In the twiddly stuff, again, it was never solos. It was just used as not that I'm always against solos, but I, as a general, don't find solos as interesting as a lot of people do. The twiddly stuff was just in there to add like a fill. It was like the guitar equivalent of a fill, in the same way that a drummer would do like a fill, like a the guitarist can do a fill like a technical talk, people. It's important. So I enjoyed everything about the way that was crafted, constructed. It was simple when it needed to be. It was complicated when it needed to be. But the complication was, again, the complicated bits were subtly delivered. It was things like interesting movement of the chord pattern and melody, like milking the last chorus, like putting the twiddly bits in but not making it over the top. I've kind of said everything I can about that, and there's no supporting video to go with it, but I hope that it does get a video, and I hope it gets a really kinetic, fun video, the sort of video that this group can do. I'm happy to hear it. I'll quickly go over the fact I said that about it mixing pop and metal, and this is something that we've talked about a lot on this channel, because we've talked about a lot of artists other than BABYMETAL who've also been mixing pop, specifically Japanese pop, with heavier styles, infusing different elements of it, and there's very many different ways of doing that. Two genres allow you to do that in many different ways. Some songs sound more like metal done through a pop filter, some sound more like pop done hard for a metal filter. Obviously, recently BABYMETAL have veered more towards just being a straight metal act, despite being set up as a pop act in, I don't mean in intention, but just in the way that they are, sort of lead singer girls who don't play instruments and a backing band. And, the songs being written for them, admittedly by people who are part of their, if you like, artistic family, but still, the point remains. This one struck a nice balance, because whereas a lot of the songs, like I say, more recently have veered towards just kind of being metal, really, this one kind of more embraced certain pop tropes that metal acts usually wouldn't go for. Like I say, the thick production, the heavy focus on a chorus rather than anything particularly instrumentation driven. And I like that. It has I guess the best way of saying it, for me, and this is personal bias, I'm not saying this is a quality thing, for me, it has a lot of the things that I like in both genres. It has the sort of hyper, excessive energy that you get a lot from J-pop, and it infuses it with the sort of growling, loud, snarly, I wouldn't say aggression, but force that metal has. And the result is a song that, in my mind, wins in every single way. I mean, as you know, I've been going through trying to build up a mental top list of my top 5 songs by, BABYMETAL is one of the artists who I'm doing that for. And I'm surprised to say, I guess I shouldn't be, but I'm happily surprised to say that one's actually now a strong contender for that list. I'm going to have to go and think about my list, but that one could well be up there. So guys, I need to re-listen to it a few more times before I make a decision anyway, but this is a good time to get in the comments. What do you think about BABYMETAL's new song? Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying the style? What do you think other people would think about it? Are you not a BABYMETAL fan? Do you want to give us some comments as well? Just everyone, get in there, tell us what you think. It's all about the comments on this channel, and as always, I try to reply as much as I can, but even if I don't, I do read all the comments. So they're all appreciated and they will all get through to me somehow. Anyway, for now, from Japan, ciao ciao. I'm looking forward to some old songs and some new songs soon. There's a lot of great stuff still to listen to. Adios.